This show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time each and every week. Today is a big day because we have the Blur Airdrop, but we talk about all things NFTs, crypto, technology, finance, entertainment, gaming, and everything in between on this show every damn day. I'm your host, P.O., here with my co-host, Nifty Nick, the funniest man in the business, King Kicks, the CEO of Crypto Raiders, the co-founder of the Nifty, soon to release Cyber Stadium. You're not going to want to miss that thing. Easy Eats Bodega, the host of GM Market Talk, a rising show in the Web3 rankings, and the founder of Bodago's, the future #1 collection on the Solana blockchain. Signal, the host of Artist Spotlight, the host of The Weather Report, and one of the most beloved personalities in all of NFTs. And last but not least, Bunny, your bio just says 183 Ethereum of Bitcoin punks.
Yeah, that's the joke, Pia.
How is that a joke? What's the punchline?
Ryan Carson.
Nick, you're muted, buddy. You said Ryan Carson's name.
Yeah, that's the punchline. He bought 183 ETH of Bitcoin punks.
Oh, boy. Nick, it looked like you wanted to chime in.
No, it's all good. He just gave you the information.
You're on the wrong mic, buddy. But anyway, yeah, I mean, Bunny, would you have made that buy?
Well, I don't have that much ETH. Is Nick in the shower?
Yeah. It was the wrong connection, but now we're resolved, okay? Everybody can calm down. Made it through. Nick had a little bit of a technical glitch.
And speaking of being calm and stoic, Nick, how you doing this morning, buddy?
Just at peace. Very peaceful. It's been a good day. I'm feeling the love. You know, it's Valentine's Day, Pia.
It is.
How are you feeling the love?
I hope so.
Yeah, you know, it just every time Valentine's Day comes around, it's just always a source of deep joy. Every single year that Valentine's Day comes around, it's just never a lack of stress, never excessive stress, never frustration that you didn't prepare for the day properly. Fortunately, this year I'm not in a long-term relationship here, so I'm not feeling the same levels of stress that I normally do on a Valentine's Day. Shout out to all my single people. Let me tell you, being alone is far better than being in a long-term relationship where you're trying to figure out what gift to get for the other person. You didn't get the gift in time. You can't get a restaurant reservation, and don't worry, you're gonna fuck it up, and they're not gonna love you anymore. So that's the outcome of today.
It's corporate holidays, man. Check them off the box.
Well, don't worry, Nick. That Bored Ape Yacht Club hoodie will ensure that you stay single.
I mean, that's a possibility. I actually have a lot of people that say, wow, what is that thing? That's very impressive. And then I never hear from them again. But, you know, we'll see. That is a hot take there, P.O. Throwing shade at all the Bored Apes. How about you show some respect to all the Bored Apes, because they're the only people keeping this market alive at this point in time, okay?
Are they, though?
You know, the Bored Ape Yacht Club, together we stand, and together we rise, and together we carry this NFT market on our backs. You know, you can't hold us accountable for the price of crypto, but you can surely hold us accountable for the NFT market. If you look at all the top projects right now, Other Deed, #1, Mutant Apes, #2. Where are Bored Apes? I don't know. I mean, they just forgot. I think OpenSea forgot them today. That's probably what's going on. Never mind that. But the bottom line is they're always carrying it. They're always there behind the scenes. They're always there showing up every single day, making sure that this market is functioning like it should.
I don't know if I buy that, but
and today on Valentine's Day, I'd like to show immense love to the company that changed my life, Yuga Labs, Bored Ape Yacht Club. Yo, shout out to that team for carrying this market. Thank you so much. You know, I just want to shout out, you know, what other companies do you love, P.O., in this space? Shout out to Gabe Layden. I'd like to shout out him. That guy took a risk. He put his neck out there. And yeah, did the NFT space come through and say mean things about him? Yes, but who else is out there making bets like Gabe? Nobody. Okay, so that's another person that I have to show some respect for on this Valentine's Day and send some love. You know, who else are you loving here, Pio?
Well, did you want to ask the daily question? I know you came up with it. I was very surprised to find out that you came up with it. I assumed that Clemente had come up with it, and I warned him in a group text with you that you might be uncomfortable with it. And then you said,
I just don't understand what the uncomfortability there is there. But look, I'll just ask the question while you come to terms with the fact that I have a heart, Pio. Who's your Web3 crush? Answer that in the comments. Maybe they love you back, and maybe it results in the end of your existing relationship, and you can move on to something better.
My Web3 crush is 100% Easy Eats. I'm in love with that guy. Infatuated, obsessed.
Really?
My Web3 crush is my Bitcoin punk. My ordinal. You know, ordinals go far. They launch.
Everyone's gonna shield their bags with their
everyone's just gonna post their favorite project. I actually made some buys too. I'm excited. Today's gonna be a good day.
You know, my Web3 crush is Rug Radio's NFT, their new PFP. Very excited about
it's funny
that.
you say that, considering I saw you all over the buys last night.
were you buying last night?
I didn't get all of them, but
You didn't get every Rug Radio?
I'm not going to call someone out because I don't want them to. They can speak for themselves if they feel so inclined. But I texted someone and I said, "Why shouldn't I be sweeping this floor here?" And I got a text message this morning. Don't worry about it. I got 100. They were trying to throw me off the trail and front run me.
I'm buying another one right now, and I have a lot of exposure, a lot across wallets. I've deployed capital into this one.
You've deployed capital. Watch out. Back up the truck.
Back up the truck, ladies and gentlemen.
Pio spent half an ETH on this project.
I'll tell you, it was a lot more than that. It was a lot more than that.
0.75 ETH.
Biggest capital deployment of all time.
It was I'm not going to say how much, but it was a lot more, okay?
Web3 crushes are out there. I was going to actually say, who was your first crush? And then it felt like inappropriate because like that person, like that person's not here. Now I'm just talking about this one person who eventually became a friend, but she started off as a crush. And I got friend zoned in first grade. Okay. I got friend zoned in first grade by Natasha. And I don't really appreciate that about her. But I had to stay friends with her for her whole life. Like I'm still friends with her now.
Is she like married?
She's out there, yeah, having relations with other people. Can you believe it? This is complete bullshit.
Maybe you guys have like a Notebook love story. Like when you hit like 55, 60, you kind of just run it back, you know, and you fall in love.
Is that what the story of the Notebook is? They were early crushes and then they run it back?
Yeah, I'm kind of, you know,
spoiler alert.
A couple details, but
if you haven't seen that one yet.
Sneaky Ninja Pants, what says Blur.io? Signal says Kat Samard.
Whoa, Signal.
I mean, she's like the Lara Croft of Web3. Have you seen her pictures when she goes off into like wherever she's going? The
desert, I had to mute her.
Himalayas. She is
3 weeks
so
in
cool.
a cave. Like.
Yeah, she goes into caves, into dark caves with no one's there.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
I'm going to chime in. She's also my Web3 crush. How about that?
Good choice.
Whoa. Uh-oh. Pio's sticking his neck out there. I was going to say, well, this could turn into borderline harassment, but I have to mute a lot of people. If they're too attractive, you're muted. I'm sorry. Like I can't have this sort of stimulation in my mind. It's just unacceptable. So let me list off the people that I've muted here.
No, no, stop it. Okay. No, unless they're dudes, do not list them. Well, look, I've been buying.
Hold on, Pio. You've seen some of those women who like post pictures of.
I'm not having this conversation right now.
Scantily clothed individuals. Like, is that acceptable? Is that like, are we as a society just going to say that's okay?
Well, Nick, the guys would be doing, but there's not a single guy in Web3 that's in shape. Like no one wants to see that body.
That's not true. I have seen some people. We got Jux on our team who's out there showing like how he's squatting like world records over here.
That man has never been at his desk. He just walks and works at the same time. That's all he does.
I mean, that's like
Big mobile hack.
That's the executive stuff. When you're just walking around working, it's because your words carry weight.
Yeah, he's gonna have no issues with carpal tunnel syndrome.
I've been buying the Rug Radio NFT during the show, so I haven't been able to really be running the show, and Nick's been running it towards
that's complete nonsense. In the right direction. Spyro says only the amateurs go out on Valentine's Day night, and that is true. You know the best day to get reservations? The 13th. I go out on the 13th, February 13th.
Gotta be careful about that, though. They may wonder what you're doing on the 14th.
They usually do. And I like to keep, dude, you know, you got to keep excitement in your relationship there, Kicks. And the only way to do that is keep them feeling like they're at risk of losing you. You know, where's Nick? Where's Nick on my birthday? I don't know. Where is he on important holidays? Seems to be absent. I don't know what is going on. You know, they also say that that's a great way of parenting as well. And
play hard to get with your kids.
Exactly. Dude, you got to keep them in check. You got to be like, oh, where's daddy on my birthday? Oh, I don't know where he is. But he still loves you. You gotta keep trying hard, kid. You gotta try harder.
Well, that's an interesting take. So look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm busy being uncomfortable because Nick is calling out Web3 people by name as crushes, and I'm busy buying NFTs during the show. That's unprofessional. I was actually training with
Sneaky Ninja Pants has posted like 10 separate people.
Well, Sneaky Ninja Pants is putting his neck out there. That's what you can do when you're anon. You can just name a bunch of different people, and it doesn't matter because you're anonymous.
Only one female, though.
Okay, well, I need to get the show back on the road. See, people don't understand that this is my job, is reining in Nifty Nick. That's the job.
Are you not going to acknowledge any of the crushes, though? Like, you're not going to answer the question that people put? Someone said Pamela Henderson.
I don't know. I don't even know what that means. I don't know what that means. That was Cryptopolis. You should have known not to read Cryptopolis's comment. I'm surprised the comment didn't just say, talk about NFT trading. This show has no alpha, but I listen every day.
Rocket Girl Savage Heart 666.
Okay, Sneaky Ninja Pants weighed in with Marin Altman. Can't say I'm surprised that one got thrown out there, you know?
Farouk has a crush on, not Thread Guy. We're aware of that, Farouk. We've been watching that from a distance, and it's very clear. I mean,
but doesn't Thread Guy work for Farouk? So isn't that actually like kind of a gray area right now, and whether you can actually have a...
No, it doesn't work. TG doesn't work for me.
Oh, okay.
We have a crush on each other.
Okay, good. I didn't want any workplace, hanky-panky going on there.
Never.
Okay.
No, we're not into that.
I thought you were a pro, Farouk, and I'm glad that I was right. We got I mean, Nick, you can name one or two, and then I'm definitely gonna take the reins on this because I just feel silly.
Dabs Malone says Land Whisker. Shout out to Witters. She's thirst trapping dudes all across the internet. That's working out. Shout out to Dabs. You want me to listen more, or you listen more?
Well, we got this guy Flushing saying, listen to Nick try to give speculator, Kicks love and relationship advice. Well, I'm not going to read the rest of that comment. That's borderline immutable comment right there from Flushing.
What is borderline immutable?
If I read a comment that I feel is in bad spirit, I just mute the person immediately.
Cassinotis provided a porn star as a reference.
Okay. All right. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, what a daily question it was today. Happy Valentine's Day, the day of the Blur airdrop. Today's show is sponsored by So Rare. If you don't have a date tonight, if it's Valentine's Day and you find yourself with nothing to do, sign up for So Rare. It's going to make all of your romantic issues go away immediately. It's fantasy, sports, and NFTs put together. What's more romantic than that? You can sign up at thenifty.com/SoRare. That's TheNifty.com/SoRare. It's one of the biggest games in crypto. Millions of registered users, hundreds of thousands of monthly active users playing the NBA League every single week. In January, there was $25 million in sales volume. Hello. over $7 million in sales volume already in February, led by a 190K sale of a Giannis Antetokounmpo card. That's the Greek Freak. Almost 200 grand, ladies and gentlemen. Not a bad chunk of change for one NFT. And best of all, for all you ETH maxis out there that don't understand Bitcoin, they're on Starkware. That's Ethereum layer 2. So you can't even complain that it's not on Ethereum. Sign up at thenifty.com, THENIFTY.com/SoRare. That's SORARE. Before we go to the weather report, Nick, it looks like you have something on your mind, something to chime in with before the weather report.
Well, I was just going to say, you know what's a good replacement for sexual relationships? SoRare. Sign up at thenifty.com/SoRare. If you're alone on Valentine's Day, warm your heart with SoRare. They're there providing love every day with a free NFT, a sports NFT, directly sent to your heart at the click of a button. So that's it doesn't get better than that. Lego Batman did provide a pretty funny crush.
Who?
And it was Signal. And they said if they connect together, they can call themselves the Bat Signal, the child. And I was like, that's pretty good.
Well, Lego Batman, you have a family, so let's dial it back a little bit.
No, he said,
okay,
I'm
buddy?
married, but if I wasn't, it's Signal, and then they can have the Bat Signal. And I think that's pretty funny.
I'm
How about
down
you-
for that. I'm down for that, Lego Batman.
Hey, Lego Batman, how about you print out that comment and put it in the card, in the bouquet of roses that you give your wife tonight. See how she responds to that, all right, buddy? None of that over here, okay? We keep it above board. Over to Signal for the weather report. Signal, please take it away.
Oh, you made my Valentine's, Lego Batman. So thank you. GM everyone, Valentine's Day, as we know, volume across the market coming in at 30 million with OpenSea, obviously at number 1 with 14 million. Blur just coming in slightly under 9. Onto leaders, Apes, Mutants, and Punks looking okay. Whilst we are seeing quite a pullback like we saw yesterday on Moonbirds, Doodles, Pudgies, and Clonex. You've got Clonex down at 4.5, Doodles just under 5 as well, Moonbirds at 6.6, and Pudgies still doing good at 5.5. But over the past 24 hours, with Mutants at the highest volume, but it's Uints doing phenomenally well. While attention was on Digi over the weekend, the collection minted a supply of 39,000 editions, and the goal of this collection is to combine the Uints to make the highest number or find rare colored numbers. Portal have been all over this since the weekend, and we're now in the accumulation phase before the combining or burning of the numbers. The floor hit an all-time high of 0.05, which is incredibly good for a 39,000 collection. Is now down back at 0.02. Onto the art market, Renders Game by Mount Vitruvius, the artist behind Mind the Gap, dropped his new collection on Art Blocks Curated. We actually heard about this from Node last week. He said to look out for it, and he was right. The Dutch auction hit 1.5, and with a nice low supply collection, it is already 2x and sitting at 3.5 today. More on the art side, you got Claire Silver Genesis collection has officially hit an 100x from mint after reaching an 11th floor. The Braintrops collections in general have been doing extremely well, especially off the back of life in West America. So keep a lookout on the other 3 collections as there is speculation that there could be more movement there. And then lastly, Bunny spoke a little bit about this at the beginning, onto the OTC deals of the market. News broke yesterday on Twitter on Cyrus's account that the BTC Punks founder has faced a lot of controversy after he allegedly circumvented a deal in which he was the middleman and instead sold 183 worth of BTC Punks to Ryan Carson's 121G fund. So that have been the top stories over the past 24 hours. Crypto looking okay. We've obviously had the CPI number come in, so we could see some volatility there. But overall, a lot of anticipation for the Blur airdrop. It's all eyes on that. That is happening at 12 p.m. Eastern. So for now, look out for what's going to happen, and it is back to you, folks.
Absolutely fantastic weather report as usual, Signal. Some other updates from the Nifty Daily Digest, which is the daily newsletter that you have to subscribe to at thenifty.com. That's THENIFTY.com. It's published every single day. Collector Cosimo de Medici has donated the largest collection of digital artworks to the LACMA, the Los Angeles County Museum of Art. He said, "Hold my beer," after that French museum donation thing. And actually, I think he donated his alien CryptoPunk, which is insane. He also, Zombie, correct. And the also one of his ringers, pretty wild donation. D-God's team has secured an entire Bitcoin block with 535 individual D-Gods images, all under 100,000 inscription count, leading the way in migrating NFTs to the most superior blockchain in the world and delivering the inevitable future of Bitcoin being the #1 singular chain that everybody in the blockchain, Web3, and just the world in general operates on. The Blur team has confirmed that care packages can be opened today at 12 p.m. Eastern time, and Coinbase has added support for the token. Spencer texted me that yesterday and said that that's the biggest news in Web3. I said, is it the biggest news in Web3 or the biggest news for your fund, Spencer? Hades Swap, the largest automated market maker on Solana, has announced the acquisition of Solana Monkey Business. Easy, that's big news, huh? Easy's just nodding. It's a radio show, Easy. You got to say audio stuff for it to work.
It's good. I would say it's definitely good. People are excited. It was very it was a split response, I would say.
What else is new?
Yeah. Obviously it was interesting to hear from people who hold a lot that were very split on it. Like a lot of people who have skin in the game were a little bit hesitant because the DAO that had formed over the last 2 years went for a buyout. They did not have the funds on hand. Numbers are coming out today that it appears the devs were bought out for $1.5 million. And the other offer was about $2 million, but they were still raising investor capital. Whereas HG, also known on the ETH side of things as 9x9x9, was able to show that he had 1.5 ready on hand and purchased it.
Well, we'll have to discuss it a little bit. Last story of the newsletter, Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange by trading volume, has seen $831 million of net outflows in the past 24 hours due to a regulatory crackdown on the Paxos-issued BUSD coin. That's Binance USD. So some wild stuff happening there, but there seems to be solvency since $831 million is no chump change, and it just left the exchange. Those are your stories from the Nifty Daily Digest. Again, subscribe at thenifty.com. Wink, wink. You definitely want to do that. Next section is going to be led. Oh, couple last stories. Azuki introduced new characters, Jay and Jelly, two mischievous beans. Appears to be part of a strategy to develop distinct IP for beans on Twitter and Instagram. And Ryan Carson's fund purchased 15 Bitcoin punks for $276,000 US, 183 Ethereum. Cyrus, a prominent NFT trader and listener of this show, I see him listening to this thing, reports that the founding team were aggressively trying to sell. Ryan has since deleted the tweet announcing the purchase. Tough one. Anyway, next section, discussion of the newsletter is led by Nick. Nick, keep in mind, we do have Farouk, the founder of the Rug Radio PFP, and Luca Netz, the founder of Pudgy Penguins. They've had one or two sales on stage. But Nick, over to you.
The first thing, I got a question because you brought up this monkey business thing. There's a couple that I just want to subjects I just want to knock down here. So hold on. So the acquisition amount was like 1.5 million. That can you provide clarity? Easy. I need your voice, dude. I seriously participate.
Yeah, I mean that was the speculation this morning. Yesterday it was uncertainty. Solana Big Brain, prominent whale in the Sol ecosystem, who is buying Sol for under like 70 cents, said that he had been willing to invest up to $1 million in the Monkey DAO buyout side of it, but they were still trying to get the rest of the funds together. And then it was news to a lot of people yesterday that HG had actually just kind of swooped in and bought the project out.
Isn't this a disaster? And can you sign language that for everyone in the audience listening right now, maybe, because maybe they'll figure that out. Isn't that like I thought Solana Monkey Business was one of the premium.
Yeah, but the devs haven't done anything for it for like 2 years. Like they just basically launched the project, launched the marketplace like right after mint, and then have done nothing. And they have like just this insane community of like all these OG Solana people who throw like some of the better events. Like they had an entire week of events at Breakpoint for holders. And it was the only project that literally had events twice a day, every day, but it's all funded by the community. So the community was like, why don't we just buy this out for the IP rights? And they were actually, because they could not come to an agreement, they were just going to launch their own collection called the Monkey DAO collection and basically transition over from SMBs to the Monkey DAO collection. And now with this buyout, it's like in this weird middle ground.
You said that we have Luca on stage, and that's correct. Luca has done something similar to this, acquiring Pudgy Penguins. How much was that for, Luca?
It's for $2.5 million.
Okay, so Pudgy Penguins, $2.5 million.
And he was also going against 9x9x9 during that, who ended up being the one who bought out SMBs.
Interesting.
Oh, damn. So 9x9x9 was like that Luca guy taught me a lesson, right?
And Luca, are you afraid now that that SMB is coming for the ring?
No, I'm not afraid. I'm actually more bamboozled because I think I would have thought people would have learned by now with what we did at Pudgy's that some of these things can't go for that cheap. And SMB going for $1.5 million is a steal of the century. So yeah. I don't know who let that happen, but that's a huge dub for whoever bought it, which seems like 9X did.
So your arch nemesis, and you're now going to have to swallow your pride and bury that deep down inside. Good luck dealing with that emotional insecurity. But I'm convinced that you're still going to succeed. As a current Pudgy Penguin holder, I'm going to be honest. I'm a pretty paper-handed person, though, Lucas. So like we do have some risk here as it applies to that. As for how long I stand in the community. But moving on to some of the other subjects here, I wanted to bring it up. This is not to slam Ryan Carson for his buy, but instead to bring up, because it's relevant, I had to buy my punk the other day from someone else who listed it for 0.9 ETH, removed it.
Your Bitcoin version of your punk.
The Bitcoin version of my punk, removed it, and then switched the price to 1.5 ETH. And then I DM'd, and he said, "Oh, I just saw the DM. Hey, enjoy it." And I what I wanted to respond was like, "Screw you," but I didn't do that. I now have it. Look, are these Bitcoin punks not inevitably going to zero?
They went as low as 0.2, 0.3 last night, and then they launched an official marketplace that verifies them all with Emblem Vault, and now they're back to 0.9. So a nice little like price action overnight. Like I should have been buying yesterday because I've been just like kind of trading the market where like I'm buying him OTC, putting him in the Bitcoin wallet, wrapping him in Emblem Vault, and then selling him on OpenSea. So like if you don't understand how to do it, there's like a very easy RBOP there if you can wait like the couple hours it takes for Emblem Vault to actually process. But dude, buying these things is such a headache. Like right now, the wallet, you can only put one per wallet address. Pio's over here making faces. I don't even think the guy's got Sparrow downloaded.
No, I definitely don't, but I just know I have experience from Emblem Vault, and I know about what I'll say, like the liquidity issues that exist with Emblem Vault. Good luck selling anything in the Emblem Vault collection.
They're back in the top 24-hour collections though for volume. Like they're cruising, but after, like you said, after the next like day or two, I'm like, I don't know if I want to be stuck holding these.
There are windows. There are windows. Emblem Vault was the #1 overall collection on OpenSea for like a day or two during the rare Pepe frenzy that happened in late 2021. But that liquidity disappears really quick. It's just not an ideal collection. It's this colossal disaster of a collection. People need to understand. There's a rare Pepe card that has, I'm not exaggerating, a supply of 1 billion. Literally, it's 1 billion. So people are just vaulting that one and throwing it into the collection. It really barbecues the supply of items. And I mean, if I look right now at Emblem Vault, the last X number of sales are all Bitcoin punks. So look at that. That's what's moving right now. But it's not just going to like those Bitcoin punks, in my opinion, are not just going to eternally have volume. And they're not trading for very much, I should also add.
Pia,
like
do you know?
0.9 ETH though? Like that's not bad, especially considering people were minting them for literally $13.
I felt like I had to buy it just to protect my IP, and rather than deal with the dispute with the person that owned it, I ended up just picking it up. But the separate thing I was going to say is, Pia, do you know what makes Emblem Vault absolutely superior?
The fact that it's on Ethereum.
Exactly. It's on
Wait,
Ethereum. It's on the superior blockchain. So I just thought that you should know that. And that's why it has so much liquidity there at the moment. Kix, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I just have a quick question. So basically, someone stole the picture of your CryptoPunk, put it on Bitcoin, and you bought it from this bozo to protect the IP of your.
Instead
Crypto-
of just, couldn't you have just uploaded it yourself? And like, who
No,
cares?
I'm
Not
going to
first.
do that. I
Not
was going to, but the reality is it's part of this like collection that somehow people view has any form of legitimacy.
Well, the way that it was uploaded, there's multiple like dupes in it, but they based it on which one was transcribed first. So on their website, there's like existing punks and then missed punks, and the missed ones are like blocks that transcribed after the first one.
This
Like
thing's
ZK's
going to
got
zero.
like 15 of them. Yeah,
This-
dude.
I can't believe I spent money on this stupid thing, but here I am.
You could have spent 183 ETH on them.
I could have bought another necklace or something like that, you know, because now I'm a big necklace guy. For those that aren't aware, huge necklace guy, big into them. Got charms coming out the wazoo. In terms of additional major stories, the obvious big one here is Blur. Well, actually, real quick, before we dive into that, Luca, what's the big Valentine's Day announcement coming from Pudgy Penguins today?
No big Valentine's Day announcement, though. I won't drop the alpha on this space. I was gonna ask before you guys dive into this Blur rabbit hole. I was meaning to ask if you guys had any clarity on the project side. Spence, this is your time to educate the audience. But I'm getting a lot of mixed signals here. But apparently, projects are getting the airdrop too. And I just want to know if that's like true. That's why I came up on the stage. I was like, no one can answer this question correctly for me right now.
No, the answer is just yes. That any project that was traded that didn't get royalties essentially on Blur instead gets token airdrop. And I've long said that that was the whole thing. This is like one of the big reasons not to restrict trading on Blur is that the project gets token airdrop. And again, like I'm coming at this from the perspective of I think that the Blur token will be worth somewhere in the ballpark of like 1 to 2 billion FDV when it launches. That's kind of what I think a lot of the smart money is saying right now. I think a lot of products will make a lot of money off that.
Not even the smart money. They just leaked an announcement that said they're raising at a $1 billion valuation.
Sorry, how do they end up claiming that when you say the project receives it? Can we get a little more details on what that actually means on a practical level? Do holders receive that?
Now, like, where's this going? My wallet?
Right questions.
No, it's the the person who has the like deployer contract gets it.
So the deployer wallet ends up getting the ETH, or sorry,
ERC
the Blur token.
1155s are, however, not on Blur.
Yeah, no, I know we're not going to get it, but and that's unfortunate that I'm not the deployer of Bored Ape Yacht Club or something like that.
Spencer, quick question for you. You said the FDV coming in at $1 to $2 billion. Do you know how much circulating supply is going to come out today? Like what percentage of overall?
I don't. So I think that's the biggest question of the day, and I expect if they did $1 billion fundraise, which. I got to check how much they said about this, but assuming they did like $1 billion fundraise, right? Like you'd expect that they would try and get the FDV above the fundraising amount by at least 2x. And so that indicates like they might release a smaller supply than expected today of the total tokens just to pump the FDV numbers.
Yeah, right. So like circulating maybe is like 300, 400 million, but it's only like 15% or 20%. I'm not doing math right now, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Farouk, I got a question for you, a Valentine's Day question. How much love do we have to show you by sweeping the floor of your project before we get preferred treatment and within your ecosystem?
Well, you know what, Theo, I swept the shit out of that floor yesterday, and I ain't got shit. So that's kind of what it is.
Yesterday hold on a minute. That's not nice.
I'm kidding. I got tons of love and appreciation for Farouk in the community.
That was a good time to sweep the floor. 0.07 ETH. I mean, I bought a few, not as many as Spencer, but
yeah, Spencer came in and committed highway robbery, and I appreciate the shit out of you guys. I mean, let me know. I mean, I could come to your guys' place for a foot massage, but it takes 100 PFPs, 150 PFPs. I'll come back. I'll give you a little rub on the back. 250 PFPs starting. I'll give you a little hand job. 500 PFPs, and I'll get down and dirty.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
Goodness
Okay.
gracious.
Well,
Insane.
let
You
me
said
rush.
500. I'll be right back.
Let me rush to
I
sweep
mean,
the
I
floor
don't
on
think you can
this.
find a harder working product founder than Farouk. I mean, you heard it here first, guys. That's real commitment to the cause. That's
Does
real
Luca
commitment.
Nets offer that? Does Luca Nets ever offer something like that? I don't think so.
Spencer, you tell him what Luca Nets offers.
Oh,
Luca
boy.
Nets offers-
Oh man! Oh wow,
Oh, it's
guys! Not,
Valentine's Day over here for sure.
one at a time, please, boys.
Guys, hey, look, we try to keep it relatively PG over here. Ladies and gentlemen, goodness gracious.
Everyone's just taking off their clothes for the guy with the money on stage. Signal, you got your hand raised. What's going on?
Yeah, no, Spencer, I wanted to ask yesterday the token that was live for Blur. That turns out that was the real token and it was a mistake by an exchange. Is that correct?
No, okay, so kind of there's my understanding of what happened yesterday is that one exchange started trading synthetic futures of it. So like this is a thing that exchanges will sometimes do where they'll just like when the token launches, they're gonna buy like the token doesn't actually exist yet, right? And tomorrow they're gonna like buy or today they'll buy however many they've sold on their exchange yesterday to just cover themselves, which is like pretty smart because usually like this kind of happened with ApeCoin where there were some exchanges trading ApeCoin the night before ApeCoin actually released. And it was trading at like $40 the night before, and then immediately on launch it was trading at like $7. And so, like, I would not be trading a Blur token on these exchanges because it's surely overpriced. Because what they usually do is just have very limited supply, and they're hoping people just like don't pay attention to FDV, which you can't because like we don't know supply, right? So how could you ever value what one Blur token is when you don't know the supply of Blur token? And so they probably just have like very small supply at like a very high price, and it'll be at a very high price trade on their exchange, and then they'll just actually buy the tokens later.
And you gotta think as well that they're still going to do some sort of like tokenomics on the platform with Blur, right? Like not exactly
I don't know
like
necessarily.
Square, but you don't think so?
That's not obvious to me, right? And I think you got to look at like something like Uniswap, which is, you know, if you become the Uniswap of NFT marketplaces, although Uniswap does have its own NFT marketplace, but like Uniswap token doesn't do anything, and Uniswap token has like billions of dollar market cap.
Yeah, I think some people are speculating that maybe eventually it'll with regulation get some utility.
Yeah,
Do you know if the Blur founders are in the United States?
I don't think they are, which is good.
No,
for a lot
BB's
of
in an
reasons.
island off of the coast of Florida.
They call it Blur Island now, is where that place is. And I'm looking forward to, I'd like a private party down there. How many of these tokens do I have to sweep? That's the real question there, because for them to show me the love that I deserve. Maybe they can even just...
Nick, the real utility is with Bitcoin Blur. I gotta, I've inscribed a few Blur on the Bitcoin blockchain that I'm gonna sell to you so that you can protect the IP rights of your original Blur token.
There we go.
I like where your head's at, Spencer. You know how to pull on Nick's heartstrings. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder, the show is sponsored by SoRare. So when you're inscribing stuff on Bitcoin and ripping people off, you can afterwards just have a good time playing fantasy sports with NFTs incorporated on SoRare. The tweet pinned to the top shows that we're giving away a Stephen Curry uncommon SoRare card. It's a limited one, so definitely holds some value. If you sign up for SoRare with our link, thenifty.com/SoRare, that's THENIFTY.com/SORARE, and post your common champion lineup. That's one of the leagues that you'll play in. In response to that tweet, you'll be entered for a chance to win that card that we're giving away at the end of the month. Last month, we gave away a LeBron James card. He's pretty good at basketball. So yeah, definitely check out SoRare. Biggest fundraising round in European history, been around since 2018. Super established brand here in the NFT space. And of course, they just signed the English Premier League to a 4-year deal. That's 4 years with the biggest football league in the world. So check out SoRare. Again, thenifty.com/SoRare, THENIFTY.com/SoRare.
Does this mean that we could get a partnership with England's Premier League in 2027?
I feel like it means we already have it. We already basically have it.
It's in the bag. There you go. We're coming for you, SoRare, our sponsor. In the interim, we're big supporters. Head over to thenifty.com/SoRare. Real quick before I jump into the next subject, Luca, you said you weren't going to share the alpha on here, but let me toss out some guesses, and you can just say yes or no. Let's start with the first obvious one. You got Bitcoin ordinals pudgies coming.
No.
Okay, well, that was the only guess that I had. So if anybody has any other guesses, feel free to throw those out. The next subject I was going to discuss here is checks by Jack Butcher. This was brought up. Clemente was doing some research here, and the burn mechanism happened. I was going to bring it up yesterday, actually. The floor price on checks did come down quite significantly. We're down to 0.71. Am I looking at the right project, VV Originals? Is that
Yeah, so there's two. Because technically there's like a redeemed one where you can burn 1-for-1 that puts it on chain and no longer makes it mutable. They're right around, I think, like you said, 0.71. They got as low as 0.6 last night with a gap of like 0.2 between the ones that were mutable and immutable. I think this was just like the most common sell the news event ever. Like, because everyone was speculating that the burn would see these whales and DAOs chase the singular check, and we didn't get that. So like, then obviously with a massive supply, not that many people in the space and people holding hundreds of them, it wasn't surprising to see the burn go live and a lot of people sell off.
Yeah, at this point, like if there's people out there that like truly like believe in like, this could be like the next squiggles or whatever, like the play is to wait for like, it to kind of come out of the news, stream and kind of go quiet. And then you could quietly accumulate these at a good price if you believe in like a long-term thesis for it.
Clemente said the non-burned or 0.99 floor. What does that mean? The non-burn. So the burned still exist?
No. So like you can burn it from like you have the main collection where they're like all identical. You can burn into like the new collection.
Into the new collection. I get it.
Yeah, and I think the reason why the new collection has a lower floor price is because like if you just burn one in there, like the implied value on the original collection is that people can burn multiple for rarer things. So there's a little bit of a higher implied value on the original.
That makes a ton of sense. The source project has a higher price, as we've seen with many burn dynamics. The supply has gone from 16,000 to about 9,500, with on-chain check supply now at 5,000. It sounds like the net outcome is that the price is down regardless. And how long is Jack? Do we have any visibility into the duration for which checks metadata will continue to be updated? Or is that?
I know he was working with one of the mouse devs from Anonymice, and those guys are very, very smart. And I'm pretty sure that I saw them putting out messaging that they want to make this last, like in theory, forever. So they were like concerned about it, like the burn having any sort of external dependencies and stuff like that. So I think they did like the RNG based off like the epoch, some sort of epoch thing. I'm not smart enough to get most of this stuff, but my understanding is they work with some good people to make this like, live on chain and be pretty long term.
Hold on. So take note of that, audience. The RNG is based on the epoch. In case of now, I don't know what the epoch is on.
Tell you what, that'll get you a hot day
on blockchain. Typically, what that refers to in technical terms is a Unix timestamp, all of which no one cares about because it's a super technical thing. But congrats, they're coding something. Bitcoin NFTs. I did just discuss this, but what Easy? You've been tracking this nonstop. The biggest Bitcoin NFT story, it seems like right now, is DeGods. Am I wrong about that?
Yeah, they managed to get a.
I am wrong
block.
about it.
No, you are correct. You are correct. Well, I guess like ordinals in general are still technically a bigger story than just what DeGods did. So theoretically, depending on where you want to say what's a bigger story, but they did manage to get a complete block, 535 of them. They originally
wait, they got a complete block. What manager over at Bitcoin Incorporated did they grease over there to get that?
They worked with an ordinal
Bro,
dev.
Fred knows Satoshi, bro. What you mean?
They worked
and
with
Easy. Tell them why it's significant that you mine in a block for like the sequential.
Yeah, it's because all of them are numbered. So the ordinals are literally 535 in a complete row of, which is like impressive. Like that's the impressive part is like they have all of them one by one in a row. And what was even crazier was there was speculation on these DeGods because they were burned originally, but they had these dead god counterparts, which is like the whole part of their ecosystem. And Frank was tweeting, "What's dead may never die." And now they're on ordinals forever. So if you ask ZK, ordinals will be here in 100,000 years.
Frank, which is the better blockchain? That's my question. Now that you're operating, dude, you're like blockchain agnostic, and you're just sleeping around with all the blockchains. So tell me what it's like on this Valentine's Day. How much love are you getting from Bitcoin, and is that your current favorite lover?
I prefer the term, blockchain curious. I'm immersed, knee deep, balls deep into all types of different blockchain technologies because I'm on the quest for truth and learning all about these different ecosystems is important to me. But no, I mean, look, I'm very excited about what we're doing with Bitcoin. It doesn't change our plans on ETH or Polygon. I think we're about to have a presence on literally, Solana, ETH, Polygon, and now Bitcoin as well. So, they say the next Yuga is not going to look like Yuga, and we are definitely going to look like a very different company as this year progresses. Looking to make a stamp on all the major blockchains for sure.
Come on now, you can't give yourself the title, man. You can't put the crown. You can't create the crown.
No. I'm pointing out how different whatever it's going to be next. You're the one that made the connection. I'm just saying the next Yuga is not going to look like Yuga.
Okay. A self-referential comment there, not in any way indicating that you're the next Yuga, but it's all good, dude. If you want to make the crown,
no way. Thank you so much.
If you want to manufacture the crown yourself, I'm down to come take it as well. So I'm pretty excited regardless. It's all good. We're all racing. And we got other people on stage. We got Farouk, we got Luca. Everyone out here is saying, I'm going to take the crown. And inevitably,
Nick, I mean, it's basically just like a violent confrontation among people that all want the crown. It's getting bloody and battered. There's weapons being used. It's actually kind of a fucked up situation if I think about it.
Real Anchorman vibes.
Yeah, it's like.
Meanwhile, you guys just like all you guys are bozos with the go. It's crushing.
They're laughing at us. We're playing in the sandbox like children, and they're just laughing at the top of the mountain.
Oh, for sure. That's how it's going down right now.
Outside of, I'm wondering, are there any other Bitcoin NFTs that we failed to mention that people should be paying attention to? I'm gonna be honest, like, are we over this whole, like, did Frank and team just basically mark the top of this whole ordinals bullshit, or are we like, do we actually believe this is going to continue on for a couple more days?
I think it's going to continue on for a long time, but I think we're away from the these collectibles are important because they're early. Like now we're getting into the phase of like the ordinals that are going to be significant are going to be the ones that do like interesting things. So I'm interested in like a lot of the generative art side, and as they're improving like the infrastructure, like there's going to be really cool generative art projects, I think, on ordinals. But like a lot of this stuff, I mean, it's been around for under 3 weeks. Like,
yes.
If you think about any good project out there, like what great project out there, like from start to finish was ready to go in 3 weeks, right? So like the people that are building like really cool, meaningful, impactful stuff that will be significant 5 years from now, if they started on day one, they may not be ready to launch for another 3 weeks or 4 weeks. But I think it's definitely here to stay. But like, yeah, I mean, I think you kind of have to, I think right now being patient and not FOMOing is a great thing, and doing a lot of research and like understanding how things are working. Like, for example, like Easy's been wrapping Bitcoin punks and selling them on, via emblem vaults, but he's like really learning and understanding ordinals at a deep level. People that do that,
he's like a drug dealer on the corner right now, the way that he's behaving.
Exactly.
At least he's wrapping
that, I think, are going to have an informational understanding advantage of like what's going to be interesting over the next couple of months. But
my bags are looking flush. If Frank wants to wrap up an emblem vault D-God, listen, you got a buyer in me.
Okay. I was gonna say, so real quick, we should put a bow on the ordinal stuff. Node and Signal have their hands raised. Then we do have to roll out the new the new segment, buy, sell, or send it to zero with Easy Eats Bodega. Very exciting new segment. Go ahead, Nick.
Real quick, just a couple quick notes. So I did want to throw to Node as well. Anyways, actually, Node, go ahead. Actually,
Notarino.
All right. I gotta play.
Whoa!
Pio's gonna love this because it has to do with Bitcoin. So I think I would avoid anything with ordinals unless it's maybe DGods, of course, because that's actually an interesting project. But you know what I did the other day is I downloaded Pio will know this, the Hero wallet, and I started hitting up people and being like, hey, Trevor.btc. Like, what do you think about these BTC domains? And I was like, dude, what if the same stupid ENS number thing that I crushed it on does the same thing over on Bitcoin? So I scooped up a 4-digit Bitcoin domain for like $100. So Kicks, this is your chance to redeem yourself.
It's already moving too.
How do I get it, BitNode? How do we get it right now? This is what I need to get. I need to give my money to this. What do I need to do?
So what you need to do is you got to get stacks. You got to buy STX on Coinbase.
Out,
you
dude. That's not native. That's not L1,
dude,
dog.
Bro. You talk to Trevor, dude. Talk to Trevor, friend of the show.
I'm a big fan of Polygon, but that's L2.
Yeah,
He'll soothe all your fears, dude.
Yeah, I'm about to soothe an ass kicking over to Trevor because he and I are working on something, and instead he's just completely addicted to talking about Bitcoin ordinals on Spaces for literally 7 hours a day. So if you talk to him and get any response, tell him that Pio needs him to help him finish that thing that they've been working on for 3 days. Anyway,
and I will. He responded to my DM right away. He was like, "Dude, you got to do it. Like, go for it, buy it." And there's a couple other interesting plays over there as well, and it's on Gamma, like the Gamma marketplace or whatever. So I was like, hey, I'll take the flyer, spend $100, get a 4-digit BTC domain. You can get like a 3-digit for like 1 ETH. So hey, you never know if all this takes off.
That's the thing. I've been seeing sales on the .btcs already.
Can I just give someone some money? No, can I just give you some money to buy and send me one? What do I need to do here, man? This is
I'll sell you one, but it's a 75% upcharge.
Node actually has some good alpha though. I think the BTC domains maybe get some legs. As Easy said, there's volume there. Sometimes you don't have to think about whether these things are going to be around in 3 years. It's like, can I sell this for 3x in 2 weeks?
Signal's hand is raised. We'll jump into the next segment. I also wanted to just say real quick, the thought that I forgot was that I do believe in some of the stuff. Gabe Layden made a pretty persuasive argument for fine art on Bitcoin, and I actually could see that occurring. So I liked kind of conceptually what he was describing, and the fact that there's bigger whales on Bitcoin than there are on Ethereum. Regardless, there's still a lot of we need time to pass before it's clear that ordinals are definitively the winner. The founder of it's kind of can be pretty jerky on Twitter. I'm going to be completely honest, and it's not a very welcoming environment. Instead, it's like he has this like assault on Ethereum, and I'm like, okay, I mean, yeah, you can be a jerk, or you can try and like support all the people that have built an entire ecosystem before
Nick,
your ass came around, jerk.
I'm the bank, so I own ETH and ordinals. They go to war together, just like the Rothschilds. I'm cooking, baby. So let that war begin.
Signal, you had your hand raised, and then we'll jump into the next segment.
No, I was on the same page as Kicks on in terms of like where we are. I think the generative art stuff's going to be really interesting because we've just seen like how long it's taken for something like Claire Silver's work to get to 100x mint. And the same thing can be said for collections like Gazers as well. I just think like the really, really good stuff is just going to cook really slowly. And so no one needs to be thinking they're going to have FOMO and just take their time to research the stuff, because it's like the really good stuff normally takes like 12 to 18 months. And we've seen this play out time and time again. If you look at how long it took for Chromie Squiggles to get to where it is, that was easily typically like a 12 to 18 month cook as well. So it's just don't FOMO, take your time.
Take your time. Sound advice right there. Look, so Frank's got his hand raised. We should go to Frank once, and then the new segment, buy, sell, or send it to zero with Easy Eats Bodega. Very exciting new segment to roll out. Frank, what's going on?
Yeah, I'll just say this. My official take on Bitcoin NFTs is I don't think it's going to replace 99% of what we're seeing today with NFTs. It's like, it's not going to become like this thing where mass market people are using it, etc. I just think that there's a greater than 50% chance that in the next year, some of the highest NFT sales of all time will likely be denominated in Bitcoin and be ordinals. And it's going to be more for collectibles and luxury art. And so I think if you're a one-on-one artist, or if you're somebody that's trying to make a more exclusive or really high level NFT and or piece of art, you're launching that on Bitcoin. And the reason that it became clear to me was at a very core level, ordinals is just a better IPFS than IPFS. It's almost like you could wrap IPFS all into one little bow and put that shit on Bitcoin. It's permanent, it's forever, and I think there's going to be some really big numbers and big sales that'll happen that year, and that'll just drive more more adoption around the luxury side of Bitcoin NFTs.
Damn straight, Frank. Somebody on stage gets it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got a new
Pio
segment.
needs to express his bias when he comments on all these things, just so people understand. Like Pio literally has like posters of Bitcoin surrounding his bed at night, and the girls that come over actually ask, "What is going on with you? And will I ever compete with Bitcoin?" And he always tells them, "No." That's just what I hear. And instead, he has a long string of disgruntled exes who all lost to Bitcoin. Anyways, let's move on to the next segment.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, new segment, buy, sell, or send it to zero with Easy. What this is we're going to read out 5 NFT collections and their floor prices one by one. Easy has to decide whether he's a buyer, a seller, or if he's sending it to zero. So we actually have, we're going to get started. First collection, Sappy Seals at 0.87 ETH.
Sorry, could we clarify the distinction between selling it and sending it to zero? Zero is basically this thing's worthless garbage.
Sure. Sending it to zero means that. But anyway, Easy. Sappy Seals at 0.87 ETH. Buy, sell.
What's the time horizon? That's the better question here.
90 days.
90 days. Because I think over the next 10 to 14 days, a lot of these things are going to be buys.
Well, then that's the time horizon. The time horizon is
Sappy
today.
Seals is a buy for me.
Sappy Seals at 0.87 ETH is a buy. Okay. Yep. Second one, it should be noted, we did not know that the founder of this collection was going to be on the stage today.
Send it to zero. This is biased here.
We did not know it, but Easy, ignore the fact that Luca is on stage right now. Pretend that he is not here, that his headband penguin with a party shirt, that he's not here. Pudgy Penguins at 5.6 Ethereum. Buy, sell, or send it to zero.
It's a buy. So, and I want to give some price targets on these too. My Sappy Seals play, I think they retest previous all-time highs, so 0.87 to like 1.1, 1.15. Pudgies right now, I think this blur liquidity is going to do exactly what we saw from the last two as well. So any collection that's continued to show up throughout, you're going to see some upward potential on. So even if you're looking for a quick trade on Pudgies at 5.5 here, I'm looking to get out at like 6.9 for the memes, retested at 7 high.
Okay, well, great analysis. MFers at 1.5 ETH.
Send it to zero.
Yeah, I actually think that one's set to zero, which is crazy. And I know I'm going to get some fanboys freaking out. We did an NFT draft, and I actually drafted them only because I ran out of time, and they were in the top volume collections. So at 1.5, my concern is that, like, there's just nothing going on. It's literally just for the memes and the profile pictures. But, like, you don't even see them as frequently anymore.
Well, I mean, the guy tried to like definitively rug, and then he got scared of federal enforcement and came back. So I think that it's probably ascended to zero.
And but there is a community that exists there. It'll be very vocal about the fact that I said
They're going to
send it
tag me for the
zero.
rest of the day.
So send it to zero because everyone in that community, bunch of losers. On to the next one.
Okay, Nick. All right, get the mute button ready, ladies and gentlemen, or ladies and gentlemen named Nick. Doodles, popular NFT collection at 4.9 Ethereum.
Yeah, I'm
Sell
passing on Doodles. I'd
You're
probably
selling
sell. Yeah, we had the Pranksy floor 100 straight, and he took every WETH offer in the book. I think that we're going to actually see projects like that because that seemed like a front run of the potential that Blur bids fade here. And going to Flow, they do have some volume on the merch items, but like it's not absurd volume. And Pranksy only deployed a small portion of the WETH offers, including buying the Doodle PFP. That is their logo.
A third of it.
How much?
I think it was like a third of it, maybe
Okay.
a little bit less.
So that's still 1/3. That's still 2/3 of that liquidity gone, and those bids not coming back. So I'm not a buyer of Doodles. I don't think it goes to zero, but I'd be selling Doodles here.
Okay, we got a sell for Doodles. Last one, Chungos at 0.12 Ethereum.
They're not 0.12 anymore. That's the thing. So I would just trade them for the RBOP here, like 100%. But no, I'm probably selling them.
Selling the Chungos. Are you selling them or sending them to zero?
Zero. Send it to zero, easy. This thing is garbage. I don't even know what they are, Chungos.
But they're
Easy,
like
they
one of
are
those.
at 0.118.
Yeah, so they got up to 0.2 last night. So that's the crazier part is like these things are volatile in that range. I don't want to say it's a buy here though, because for me, I did trade in and out of them. The tough part is I don't think they go to zero because they just have this cult community that just memes you to death. Like because we just mentioned them, give it 5 minutes and all of the comments in this space will be Chungo memes for like the rest of the day.
All right, well, we're about to
Never
get
heard of 'em.
Chungoed. Nick hasn't heard of them. All right, here, bonus round. This is for tokens. If you had $10,000 to deploy easy and you have to hold and then sell after 12 months. Interesting.
12 months?
Yeah,
What?
interesting scenario presented by Clemente.
I'll tell you what I'm doing right now. Sewer passes. No hesitation.
But hold on, this is for tokens. This is for Ethereum right now at $1,515. What do you think?
It's not at 15.15. If I could buy ETH at 15.15, I'd buy it and I'd sell it right now for a free profit, Pia.
Yeah,
It's
that
at
CPI
15.60.
flip is nice. It sold off on the CPI news. ETH right now for 12 months. That's a long time horizon for me.
Right. I will say right now, technically, it went off of this 15.14 sort of support level, and it temporarily closed below it yesterday. But today we get this rocket above, which is a bullish
Depends where the daily
technical.
closes.
Yeah. So see where today closes. If we close,
I'm
above,
buying ETH. 1 year horizon. I'm buying ETH.
Okay.
I'm buying ETH.
What about Sol?
Absolutely a buy of Sol for 1 year time horizon. I think Sol gets back into that 30 to 35 range.
What about ApeCoin north of $5?
No.
You're not buying it. Okay. And Clemente's got his hand raised from the Nifty account. Clemente, something to chime in with here?
So the segment was done wrong. The token segment is which out of the three is the best buy?
Oh.
Which one's
You
the
have
best?
to pick one.
ETH, Sol, or Ape? It ain't Ape. Is it Sol or Ape?
That's a great one for Easy, man, because he's like looking at the ETH and the Sol. Like
I know, because I've been trading so much Sol or so much ETH recently, and Sol volume's slow right now. That's a tough one.
you know the
Shit.
answer, Easy.
I know. I probably honestly like. I'm looking at this upside, 50% upside versus stability with the ETH rate.
He's going for ETH, baby.
I might have to go ETH here.
There you go. You heard it
Let's
from
go
Easy
ETH.
right there.
Pia, you know what option wasn't there was Bitcoin, that shitcoin formerly known as BTC. No one cares about it.
That's going to age well. You totally understand Bitcoin. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was the new segment, buy, sell, or send it to zero with Easy. Signal, you have your hand raised. Is that a crusty hand or a fresh hand?
Crusty hand. But on that token thing, I'm going to say out of those three, I would actually do Solana over ETH or ApeCoin.
So torn on the upside because it's like we could have a 50% move back into that 30 to 35 range, but at the same time, you could have an ETH missile to 3K over a year, which gives us that same sort of potential profit margin. So like you got to look what is like which will be less volatile on the downside, because Sol could have that downside volatility that literally chops from 20 to 40 over those 12 months. Whereas if ETH breaks above 2K, I feel way more stable in that, trending back towards 3 versus potentially retest under.
This segment is trader talk for a reason. It's because Easy's a trader. Some people saying, "Are you crazy, Solana over ETH?" Look, which one are you going to sleep with? Sleep better at night holding?
Yeah.
Or are you going to sleep with? It's
I mean,
Valentine's
I'm
Day.
net long Sol right now with size. Like, I am giga net long on Sol right now, hoping for a retest to 24.
I mean, love to hear it. What a segment. That was fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, that segment, like this entire show, was sponsored by SoRare. You can sign up at the nifty.com/SoRare, THENIFTY.com/SORARE. Some big sales popping up in SoRare. One of one Ja Morant card sold for $50K. Giannis Antetokounmpo Greek Freak card, almost 200 grand. Anthony Edwards card sold for 40K. So, big range here. Institutional investors like SoftBank, LionTree. I mean, Alexis Ohanian got involved there. Serena Williams. Some players like Blake Griffin, Rudy Gobert. Look, it's a fantastic platform if you enjoy fantasy sports, and it's kind of making it clear to me that the future of fantasy sports is incorporated with the blockchain, because if you play in fantasy sports leagues, you play in the dynasty leagues and stuff where you keep your cards for the next year, then you know that there's real value to actually having ownership over the cards. And that's what SoRare gives you. It's on layer 2 Ethereum. For all you Ethereum fanboys out there, you can bridge the cards to layer 1. I mean, what are you waiting for? If you like fantasy sports, sign up for SoRare, THENIFTY.com. And we really appreciate them sponsoring the show. Nick, anything to close with here before we wrap?
I don't have much to add here. Thing I'm trying to figure out. So, are these Digidaigaku Dragon Eggs going to reveal? And should we be picking these up?
You need to use an essence to reveal them. So they airdrop these essences. There's so many moving parts to this. And then even yesterday, all the tweets from Gabe all of a sudden were talking about this other free NFT from freenft.xyz for Igor Letterman's play. Yeah, there's like a whole mess of stuff that has me so confused about this, but you need to use an essence that was sent to villains, Genesis heroes, and super villains, and there's different tier rarity, much like the potions for the unmasked villains. So there will be a reveal. We don't have a date, but there's all this game stuff going on. I think those things continue to trend lower personally.
Do you have a buy price for them?
For dragons, 0.12.
Whoa, where did that specific number come from?
That's my buy price.
That's the buy price.
That's the buy price that you used the discounted cash flow model to figure that one out, and did a little bit of looked at assets divided by liabilities. Ran a little formula there, came up with the 0.12. You heard it here first. I love the price. Easy. There you go.
You.
Love the price. We'll be buyers there. Well, look, ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. Shout out to some of the unexpected special guests that joined the show today. Farouk, the founder of Rug Radio and the Rug Radio PFP, which I personally have been accumulating. Luca Netz, the founder of Pudgy Penguins, no stranger to acquisitions, big ticket acquisitions, and beating out competitors. Nick has a Pudgy Penguin. Sounds like he might be holding it. And of course, Frank from DGods stepping in and inscribing a bunch of DGods onto the superior blockchain, Bitcoin. Maybe you've heard of it before. Absolutely fantastic show today. Look out for the Blur airdrop that's coming, ladies and gentlemen. That's happening today.